Hey guys, what's up? It's Kinsey, and today I am gonna wash my sleeping bag and my down jacket. So I have the Enlightened Equipment Revelation Quilt 10 degree that I just took on the JMT and that I have used approximately, I think 35 to 40 nights this year. And so this is the first time I've washed this quilt, and I have the Enlightened Equipment Torrid jacket. So the difference between the two is the Torrid jacket is a synthetic down, whereas my quilt is a true down. And so we're going to talk about the differences in how to wash those. So what you will need to wash these things is a bathtub, which I have right behind me here. You will need some down detergent. So I have one that's called Down Wash Direct by Nikwax, and the other one is Down Proof. So I'm going to use the Down Proof for my jacket, and I'm going to use the Down Direct for my quilt. Waterproofing on your quilt is not required every time that you wash it, and honestly, you probably shouldn't wash your quilt that often. I am only washing mine because it's been about 35 to 40 nights on trail. I personally keep my sleeping bag or my quilt really clean because I use a sleeping bag liner, and so some people may think that this is way too many nights before it needs to be washed, or way few. Some people never wash their sleeping bags or their quilts, but I think it's time, and I've done a lot of backpacking in the desert and just really dusty climates this year, so I want to give it a good clean before I put it away for the season. Okay, step one, grab your sleeping bag or your quilt, put it in the bathtub, unclip any attachments, make sure that all the zippers are undone. If there is anything that cinches, make sure that it is let out completely, just so that every inch and little pocket of that quilt and sleeping bag can get clean. Okay, before we move forward, first things first, always check the care instructions on your quilt. Every brand can have slightly different guidelines, so it is important to know what your specific quilt needs. Okay, let's get to washing. So the first thing that you want to do is fill up your bathtub with lukewarm water. In this process, you are trying to get your quilt all the way wet. The quilt has a lot of air in it because of the way that the down is lofted, and so disclaimer, this is going to take a little bit of time. The way that I did this is I just gently pushed it down, I rolled it a little bit, and just really tried to work the water inside that quilt. Once I felt like the quilt was completely wet, I drained the tub and refilled it again. Now it's time to add the detergent. I use Nikwax Down Wash Direct. I added in the recommended amount of detergent, agitated it, let it sit, agitated it again, and let it sit some more. Think about how many feathers are in your quilt. You want to make sure that you work the detergent all the way through all of the feathers and all of the material. I'd even recommend getting you a little agitator machine just like I found. Once you have completed this step, you're going to want to drain the tub of that detergent water, as well as massage and roll as much of the detergent water out of the quilt as possible. Then you will want to begin rinsing your quilt. This is going to take a couple rinses, and you want to make sure that you get all of that detergent water out of the quilt. As you saw when we put the detergent in, it creates a cloudy water. So you want to make sure that the water runs clear as you're rinsing this. And if you're anything like me, you'll want to give it an extra rinse once you think you've gotten it all, just for good measure. Once fully rinsed, it's time to get drying. But first we need to get as much water out of it as we can. So again, we're going to massage and roll. You want to try not to wring your bag, but get as much water out as you can. This will help speed up the drying process. For this process, you're going to need a couple tennis balls and a dryer. Go ahead and put your tennis balls in the dryer along with your quilt, and then we're going to run it on a low temperature. I did a time dry and let it run. Once the timer is up, you're going to want to come back in and check on your quilt. Chances are it's not going to be anywhere close to dry, but go ahead and move around some of those feathers, those pockets of feathers, give it some shakes, and repeat this process until it is completely dry. All right, now it's time to do the jacket. And I'm not going to bore you with the details. It is the same process. We are just using a different detergent. So run it back, get the reps, and stay warm and smell good on the trail. But don't leave yet. Watch to the end to make sure that you are doing the last step properly. Okay, let's say all your stuff is dry now. Now it's time to store it properly. So make sure that you hang up your down coat. Make sure that you put your quilt in a pillowcase or some sort of large bag. Whatever you do, do not store your stuff compressed. As always, y'all, thanks for watching, and I hope that this has been helpful. Please like, subscribe, comment, all the things, and I hope y'all are doing well. See you on the trails.